Today I am going to look at both marketing campaigns for the presidential election. To be as unbiased as possible, I have broken my scoring down into 6 rounds and will try to take into consideration as many non-subjective data points when scoring each round. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 6 rounds wins the marketing battle. So let's begin. Round number 1, authority and status. Marketers understand that one key ingredient that can make a product more appealing is the perceived status you can portray if you own a certain product. A watch in and of itself tells the time, just like a car gets you from point A to point B. However, if I told you I've just met a man wearing a Rolex watch and driving a Ferrari car, this might evoke automatic thoughts in your head which portrays this man as being successful and wealthy. Furthermore, we look to specialists in the field before making decisions. If you've ruptured your knee, you wouldn't want your local doctor to try and fix it. You'd want them instead to refer you to a knee specialist. This short example shows our inherent behaviour to look to specialists or authorities to make the correct decisions. This is normally because we don't have the time to figure all that stuff out for ourselves. Taking all this into account, let's apply it to both Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden has over 40 years in politics and 8 years as vice president. His experience and status can't be questioned. Some may argue being a career politician in today's world can be seen poorly. However, I'm just going to stick with the marketing aspects and believe that Joe scores highly. Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have the same experience. However, he does have 4 years experience of being the sitting president. In Trump's favour, before he went into politics, he portrayed high status by being a successful businessman. This, as well as being the current sitting president, also scores very highly in this round. Overall, I can't really call it between the two people, so I'm scoring it a draw, so I'm giving 1 point to each candidate. Round number 2, marketing budget. As Dan Kennedy once said, the business that can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Yes, there can be exceptions to the rule, but in general, the more you can afford to advertise, the higher your chances are for success. I believe this rule definitely applies to politics as well. When digging deeper, I found for House seats, more than 90% of candidates who spend the most end up winning. Obviously, the biggest upset to the rule is Donald Trump's last campaign against Hillary. In this case, he came out on top even though the campaign spent less. So looking at the financials of these campaigns, I can see that Biden, going into the final stretch, had 383 million to spend compared to just 258 million for Trump. With 130 million more to spend, Biden is the clear winner of this round, so the point goes to Biden. The current score is 2-1 to Biden. Round number 3, social proof. We may feel that we make our own decisions based on fact or logic. However, many studies have been shown that a big driver of our behaviours is fitting in with the crowd. Back thousands of years ago, if you got shunned by your tribe or were left to fend for yourself, that was pretty much a death sentence. That's why today we have an inherent trait to try and fit in. Marketers use this in many ways, but probably the most popular is through social proof. How often are you the first person to buy a product with no reviews? However, are you more confident if you are fit to check the reviews first to ensure a lot of ones had a great experience with the product before buying? So again, we can apply this to the presidential campaign in many ways. Firstly, through the polls. Polls are indicators of how people believe the vote is going to go. So predicting the outcome of people's voting behaviours can actually make others vote in the same way. As the majority of polls pointed towards a Biden win, this gave him a lot of social proof. Trump, on the other hand, acquired a lot of social proof through his rallies, an exuberant base all dressed in their MAGA hats. These visual cues of a lot of people attending his rallies score very highly as people can see for themselves that he has a lot of support. Joe Biden, on the other hand, wasn't able to portray these images. After weighing all this up, I'm going to give the round to Trump, as I believe these strong visual cues are a bigger indicator of social proof, so that's why the round went to Trump. So the current score stands at 2-2 after Trump taking that round. Round number 4, likability. Likability in marketing is kind of hard to define. Studies show that if we like someone, we see them in a more favourable light. No matter if two people do the same thing, the person we like more will get more plaudits. So how do you get someone to like you? Well, there's many different ways. But basically, it boils down to what you give, you receive. If you treat people nice and are friendly, chances are that will be reciprocated. In marketing, this could be as simple as offering a free gift to new customers. So in terms of the election campaign, it can be a bit more subjective, as depending upon your political beliefs, you may really like one candidate and absolutely despise the other. That's why I'm looking to data to back this decision up, to try and take away my unconscious bias and of who I may like more. So I used favourability polling and got the average of all the different scores. So the results are as follow. Trump scored 41.8% favourable and Biden 50.3% favourable. So from this, I give Biden this round. So the current score now stands at 3 points to 2 in favour of Biden. Round number 5, headline. In this round, we analyse both parties' slogans. I would equate the slogan in politics to a bit like a headline in marketing. It's normally the first thing people hear and sums up the overall message of the campaign. In recent years, there have been some great slogans. The first one that stands out is Obama's "Yes, we can." These 3 words inspires optimism, taking action and hope. For effectiveness, I think "Make America Great Again" was a fantastic slogan. Whether you like it or not, in 2016 election, you knew the phrase. It gave Trump the sentiment of being able to fix Americans' problems and bring it to its former glory. In this campaign, I just offer you to try and even name either party's slogan. Both, in my opinion, are very poor, as I couldn't even name you them off the top of my head. Trump's was "Keep America Great," which for me was uninspiring, unoriginal, and for many, they didn't see America as being great in the first place. Biden's, on the other hand, isn't much better. "Battle for the Soul of the Nation." I understand the angle they were taking, that basically Trump's rhetoric has diminished the togetherness of America. However, again I find it uninspiring, forgetful, and just a bit boring. So for this round, for both being so bad, I actually give each a negative point. So after that there, the score stands at 2-1, still in favour of Joe Biden. Round number 6, which is also the final round, which is influencer marketing. Influencer marketing sounds like a buzz term that most marketing agencies use. However, even though we mightn't like the term influencer, we can't deny how effective it can be. A great example of this is Gymshark. This was a brand that was an early adopter and gave many gym goers with huge followings free clothing. It felt organic, and it didn't take long for their followers to want to buy the gym clothes their favourite people were wearing. Fast forward to today, and big companies now employ this exact same tactic and use it every day as part of their marketing. In terms of the election campaign, I see influencers as people with big followings who could persuade voters. This could be movie stars, sports stars, singers, the list goes on. For Biden, we see the names such as The Rock, Lady Gaga, Stephen Curry, to name a few. For Trump, he had Kid Rock, Dana White, and other UFC stars. Overall, you can argue that this round is quite subjective, as some people might argue one star is bigger than the other and one might have more influence over certain people than the other. So again, I'm going to try and do away with subjective bias and focus on the number of endorsements each candidate got outside of politics. So after tallying up both scores, Biden came out on top with 60 endorsements versus 38 for Trump. So again, Biden wins this round and takes the win. So 3-1 to Biden, and he gets the knockout blow. So for my scoring system, I had Biden come out on top. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like learning about marketing or business, click the subscribe button below for more videos on these topics.